I am super excited to try this one. We got the brand new RGT Land Commander. It's basically an unlicensed LC79 full-on overland rig, but absolutely packed full of features. Now, when I say this thing is packed full of features, we got a 2-speed, we got dig, we got overdrive, we got front and rear diff locks, we got switchable 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, we got a winch, and we got LED lights. Let's get this thing out of the box. So we have our manual, and it looks like some windscreen wipers in there. And then we've got our transmitter, which looks like a 10-channel Dumbo RC transmitter. We'll check it out in a minute. And then the truck is in the box. Let's get this thing out. Oh, I am liking the look of that. Let's get this thing all out. Oh, this is actually pretty heavy as well. Now, I'm hoping we've got some really nice suspension movement on this. Oh, look at that. Oh, yes, that is going to look awesome. Just rocking around on the trail on the rocks. Yes. Now, the body is actually a Lexan body on the front. You've got a full interior in there by the looks of it with a bit of a dodgy looking driver. And then this is a hard plastic on the rear. And I believe these compartments open. Let's see if we can get one open. Ah, okay. I don't think it's meant to do that. Oh no, it's broken already. Oh, that's a bit of a bummer, isn't it? It's not off to a very good start. I just found as well this piece, which looks like it's snapped off on this side, because if I just turn it a little bit, you might be able to see that there's a little screw there. Yeah, it looks like on this side, look, we have this kind of slider that basically sits on a screw, and it's screwed on this side, and you slide it, which would obviously then give it that kind of swing. But it looks like you can see there, you've got little black stubby bits. I think they've snapped on either side as well, because I think what it's meant to do is swing up like that. And obviously without those bits on the top, even with the other things, it's just going to flop around in it. Let's just check the other side and just see what the other side is like, but that's a bit annoying. Okay, let's see what the other side is like. Okay, so we've at least got both sliders, but it is still a bit kind of wonky donkey at the top. It looks like this side's actually okay, but again, this side over here is broken. Yeah, but anyway, you can see you've got a nice big compartment in there, so you could get some like cool accessories and stuff in there if you wanted to, but yeah, maybe you've got to be super gentle with those. I mean, obviously mine was broken in the box, but I would say take it as a bit of caution that if yours aren't broken in the box and you open them, just be very careful that they don't break very easily. It does come with some instructions tucked inside that tells you how to open it so you don't break it. So I'm guessing either whoever assembled it tested it and didn't follow the instructions, or it just got battered on its way from China to me in the UK. Anyway, let's check out the rest of the actual truck itself. So we got a nice big meaty front bumper. I do believe this is a fully functional winch on the front, so we will give that a try. You can see it's not licensed because we got the RGT logo instead of a Toyota badge. You can see though, even though it's a Lexan body, we got like molded door handles and stuff like that. We got stickers that they've even got an LC79 sticker on the side, but obviously it's not licensed. We got fold out mirrors as well. Hopefully they will survive. And then the rear is where this thing really looks awesome and caught my eye when I saw it on AliExpress. Look, we got 2 spare wheels on the back. You've got your kind of like full-on overland expedition rack, whatever you want to call it, on the back as well. You've even got mud flaps on the back, which is just super, super cool. And you might be able to see under there, I'll show you in a minute, but we do have leaf springs and stuff on there. It looks like, yeah, quality control wasn't doing a very good job on the day this thing left the factory, because considering this is brand new out of the box, it's not looking too great, is it? So on the driver's side of the body, we've got a snorkel. It's a pretty big looking snorkel, but we got a snorkel. I'm not quite sure how to scale that is. And yeah, you've got that roof rack on top as well. The driver, you can see he's a bit of a dodgy looking driver, isn't he? But you do have a full interior in there. You probably can't see, but we've got gauges and stuff like that. I like the fact that we've got the bars and everything on the side as well. This is very much what I expect to see like in the Australian outback. It's like I'm watching like a 4-wheel drive 24/7 or something with something like this. So to get the body off on this one, we've actually got body clips on the front, And then on the rear, you've got these two tabs on either side. And it looks like basically what you're going to do is just push the tabs like that. And then, yeah, once we take the clips out and everything, we should be able to get the body off. So we'll do that in a second. But look at the size of those links. We've got big, chunky 4 links on the front, metal drive shafts. And on the rear, we've got big, chunky 4 links as well. And look at the length of that drive shaft. This thing has a 380mm wheelbase. That is a long wheelbase for a 10 scale. Right, let me get this body off so we can see what's going on underneath. Okay, with all those body clips undone, we can lift the body off. We've got some LED lights. Let me just unplug this light module. Okay, so with the body off, you can see we've got LED lights on the front. We've got that light module by there. You can get to the interior and everything. Looks like we've got a couple of spare ports there as well. So maybe we could connect some additional LED lights, which is nice. Now, it looks like your kind of like Expedition kind of rack is all screwed on, so you wouldn't be able to just remove that easily by the looks of it. And one thing I didn't realise with this when I got it on AliExpress is that it actually comes with a battery as well. You actually get a 6200 milliamp hour 2S LiPo battery. I've never used this brand before, so I can't say how good it would be, but you know, we'll give it a try on this. We'll check to see if it's 3S capable as well, because to be honest, I normally run my rigs on 3S for a bit more wheel speed, so perhaps we'll try both. So electronics wise and everything on this thing, we've actually got a 550 35 turn brushed motor. We've got our 2-speed gearbox. You can see all the little micro servos we have there for all the switchable like diff locks, the 2-speed, the 4-wheel drive, the 2-wheel drive and stuff. We'll check all those out and we'll test all the functionality in a minute. I believe the ESC is just a Hobbywing WP1060, so nothing special to be honest. Comes with a Dean's plug on it. Should be waterproof, but I think the slow speed control is probably not going to be the best. And then our receiver at least is a standalone receiver, and it looks like it is in a little receiver box. Not sure if it's waterproof. It does say for all the little micro servos they are 9-gram servos. Now the steering servo is actually a servo on axle steering servo, and it says it's a 30-kilogram steering servo. And then the winch is actually a servo winch. I don't know if you can see there, but it's actually a 25-kilogram servo, which is actually pretty decent for you know, a winch servo, especially to come included on a ready to run. So you can see we've got oil-filled shocks out of the box, which is nice. Now it looks like they are oil-filled shocks on the rear as well. They're all adjustable, which is nice. And then we've actually got leaf springs on the rear, which I'm really looking forward to seeing what this thing is like on the trail with those leaf springs. I'm hoping it's going to be like really, really scale. You can see we are just straight axles, not portal axles as well. So again, kind of keeping it nice and scale. You can see even the steering links are metal as well, which is nice. And there's a lot of metal on this thing. We should have a nice bit of low down weight, to be fair. I don't know if you could see the writing on the tyres there, but there's so much dodgy licensing going on this thing, it's ridiculous. Like, we're missing the F, which looks like it's literally been rubbed out, and we've got Ulcan tyres instead of Falcon tyres, and then they are Wild Peaks as well. So these are meant to be Falcon Wild Peaks. So the wheels are vented and they look like they're just plastic wheels. They're not bead locks, so the tyres are glued, so you would need to change the wheels if you wanted to change the tyres, or, you know, put them in the oven or whatever, or the freezer to get the glue off. The tread pattern on the tyres actually looks quite nice, again, to scale. The foams seem fairly firm, but not like rock solid. And you can see that with the weight of the rig, we are actually getting a little bit of squish. So, you know, the tyres actually feel like they're quite grabby as well, to be fair. They're not like super sticky, but, you know, they feel like they might actually do pretty well. We're going to try it on the rocks and on the trail, so we'll see what they perform like. So in terms of what you get in the box, you literally just get the transmitter and that little manual of the windscreen wipers. But to be fair, this is a Dumbo RC X10 10-channel transmitter coming with a ready to run. You know, it is a shame it doesn't have a foam grip on there, but, you know, for a ready to run, that is a very good transmitter with a lot of functionality. So the transmitter itself looks like it takes 4 AA batteries. I'm not sure, yeah, it looks like there is a spare port there, so I guess you could probably run a LiPo, like a 2S LiPo as well. If we lift the flap up on the transmitter, you can see we've got a whole load of dip switches there, so I'm guessing we'll be able to reverse the channels and probably change between like 4-brake reverse and stuff like that, although actually with it being a WP1060, we'll probably have to do that on the ESC itself. But you've got all your steering trim, your throttle trim, your dual rate adjustments and everything like that. So I've got the batteries in, let's turn it on. Okay, so battery is in, but just to show you, yeah, you do need to do it on the ESC if you did want to change between like forward brake, reverse, forward reverse. You can see it's missing the jump already. It doesn't come included, so it literally is going to be forward reverse out of the box, and then it's set for a LiPo. Now the power switch for this one is actually underneath, and you can see it's not waterproof, so yeah, I mean, I'll probably change this ESC anyway if I actually like it and I keep it, because they're not very good. But just bear in mind, if you were going to run this through water and stuff like that, that power switch is not going to last long. So I would suggest probably leave it permanently on and just disconnect your battery. But anyway, let's get it turned on. Okay, so just to take you through all the functionality for all the different channels and everything. So with everything turned off, you are basically in first gear and you have locked diffs. With the RGTs, you turn them on to actually enable, like to unlock the diffs basically. But I'm pretty sure you can reverse it using the dip switches on the transmitter. So then it would be the opposite way around. So effectively, if I show you, look, if we just drive, you can see we are locked front and rear differentials, but we can independently unlock them. So if we press channel 3, that then unlocks the front diff, but the rear diff is still locked. And then if we press channel 4, that's going to unlock the front and the rear. So front's still unlocked and rear is unlocked. And if we turn them both off, we're locked again. So now we're locked again on both axles. But if we wanted to, we could just enable channel 4 and just have locked front diff, unlocked rear diff. Okay, so you can switch between them. So then to switch between two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive is this switch here, which is channel 7. So just to show you, we're still four-wheel drive at the moment with locked diffs. And then if we just push this back one, now we've only got drive to the front wheels. Rears are just free, and you can see our front is still locked, but just in two-wheel drive. So it is just front-wheel drive, not four-wheel drive. Now, I'm not sure if you could reverse the servos to make it rear-wheel drive instead of front-wheel drive. Now, I've just had a quick play around with the channels and the dip switches, and from what I can see, you can't switch it. So it does look like it's just going to be front-wheel drive or four-wheel drive. The only thing we can do is on dip switch 7 here, if we put that up to the top, then basically what we would then do is here to the all the way left is four-wheel drive, and then as soon as you move the switch forward, then you get front wheel drive. So yeah, I'm going to put it back to the way it was for now. All the other dip switches are effectively like just reversing the channels and everything, but I've tried every single one and none of them seems to give us just rear wheel drive instead of front. But I guess what you could do is you could maybe manually change the wires possibly so that you could actually make it rear wheel drive instead of front wheel drive. I'm not sure. But if we move it back one more time, we've got front wheel drive, but the rear is locked. So that is your dig function basically then all the way back on channel 7. Okay, and then to control the 2-speed is on channel 8. So at the moment we are in first gear. So that's full throttle. And then if we enable channel 8, that's our 2-speed. You can see we've got quite a bit of wheel speed in second gear. And then to control the winch is channel 5 and channel 6. So if you hold down channel 5, it feeds the winch out. And then if you hold down channel 6, it feeds the winch back in. Just be careful when you're feeding in and out, because if you have the winch line turn slightly, it can get jammed in the fair lead. Okay, so for your LED lights when it's on, if you turn the wheel, you get the dreaded indicators. And then if you press channel 9 on the transmitter, you get your headlights. And then if you press channel 9 again, so it's flashing on the transmitter, you get flashing headlights, just in case you want to give yourself like an epileptic fit. But channel 10 doesn't seem to do anything with any lights. And then on the rear, as soon as you power it on, you get your tail lights on the rear. It's nice that we actually got tail lights. But if you press the LED lights like channel 9, channel 10, it doesn't make any difference to the rear lights from what I can see. And you've also got your indicators on the rear. And also if you go into reverse, you've got reverse lights. Another thing I've just noticed with the body when I was taking it off and putting it back on, I don't know if you can see, but some of the paint's starting to come off already on the arches, I guess, where it's probably flexing and bending. So Yeah, it's not overly inspiring so far. Unfortunately, it doesn't come with any instructions. This one just basically tells you about removing the body and opening the side panels. And this one is basically just a little thank you card for buying an RGT rig with no instructions. Right, I think that's basically everything figured out. Let's get the battery charged and then let's get it out on the rocks and on the trail. Now, I appreciate this is more of a trail truck than a rock crawler, but let's just see what it's like on the rocks. We got some lovely flex there, but that side panel is not going to last long, is it? Oh, that got up on there pretty well, to be fair. Right, I'm going to have to tuck that door back in a minute. Oh, there's that long wheelbase straight away. Oh, nice. It's got some lovely flex on it, hasn't it? It's got some nice movement. Oh, oh, that's some nice kind of body slapping noises, isn't it? Well, so far I'm liking that suspension. Oh, yes, go on. That long wheelbase is going to give us some issues. Oh, go on. This is running a 3S battery at the minute. I'll try the 2S battery when I get on the trail. Right, let's see if I can kind of slow crawl, because with the WP 1060s and the normal 1060s, slow speed control isn't the best, to be honest. Oh, man. Yeah, this body's not going to last long, is it? Yes, go on. Oh, my life. That door is going to go bye-bye at the end of this video. Now, with how rear heavy it is, I think we're going to struggle to do any climbing. Yeah, you can see that every now and again, it just kind of hesitates with that slow speed control. I'm really liking the suspension, the body movement, though. This might end in tears. Oh, we made it. Nice. I thought that was going to end with losing some body panels then. That is some lovely flex, isn't it? Look at that. That's doing really well on the climb. Oh, ah! Yeah, that's the kind of thing that happens. I'm glad I saved that. We'd have lost those doors. Okay, back where we were. I reckon we will get up there. I think it was just that line just kind of threw us. And the rocks are really slippy at the moment because it wasn't meant to rain today and it just chucked it down a minute ago. Oh, we're going to need a bit of power to get up there, I think. Let's line up and then hop it. Yes, nice. I'm loving that body wobble. It's a shame about that driver, but other than the driver, I really like the way this thing looks, and that body movement there is just lovely. Let's be daring and come down here. Oh, you can see straight away, look how long that wheelbase is. Look, we are scraping along. Oh, look at that flex. Oh, that is nice. Oh dear, right. I'm going to be daring and try and go across here, back the other way. We might have to give a bit of throttle so we don't tip. Oh, nice, we made it. See what it's like going up here. I mean, so far, the movement and everything and the way it's behaving is exactly like what you'd expect this to be like, isn't it? You know, that kind of body wobble, lots of flex, you know, teetering on the edge all the time. I mean, this isn't a rock crawler. This is like a scale trail truck, isn't it? But well, that is nice. Let's see if we can go up this little incline over here. That bumper's quite big. Oh, there we go. That wasn't too bad, especially with the wheelbase coming up to this next kind of ridge. Nice. Let's see if I can climb up here. Wowzer, that's surprisingly planted considering all that stuff we got on the rear. Let's just try that again, but let's try the steeper line because that was, I didn't expect it to do that well. So let's go back. Let's try and go up here at an angle. See if I can get up there. Wowzer. Go on, if that gets up there. Wow, so I think with all those links and everything we've got underneath, we must have a fair bit of weight down low, because I mean, for that to get up there that easily, I'm honestly surprised that. I think I did the FCX10 Camel Trophy, the Discovery, the other day, and that doesn't have all that on the rear, and that struggled to go up there first time, so that's really good. Now, because it did that so well, let's just see if we can do the hill climb. I don't think it's going to be able to do this, to be honest. I think it's going to end up crashing down. Oh, just to show you how steep this is. And look, it's just started raining again. I tell you what, British weather, forecast, dry all day, 0% chance of the rain. And then it absolutely pours down. Oh, yeah, that's just going to end up tipping over and I'm going to smash those doors off. I think we'll pass on that bit. Hopefully this rain doesn't get any worse because it's already really slippy where it's chucked it down, and these rocks tend to stay quite slippy when the tide's gone out anyway. Oh, Oh, you can see pushing over to the left a bit there. I mean, you know, we can't really judge the tyres on this run, to be honest, because of obviously how wet everything is going to be. So, yeah, I'm running on a 3S battery at the moment, so we've got a nice bit of punch. Like I said, I'll try the 2S battery when we're on the trail, and we can kind of compare the wheel speed and stuff like that. Let's just see what it's like coming down here. Oh, nice. We've actually got some decent bumper clearance and everything as well. Considering how big and chunky this is, it is not behaving like a big old chunky rig, is it? I am liking this. It is cool. Let's go up here. I think, you know, this is the type of thing I definitely want to get like a Fusion SE. I mean, look how easy it's doing that. These tyres are actually really good. Look, considering that is wet, that is crazy. I did not think this was going to perform this well. I mean, this is doing way better than I thought it would. The only thing that's really letting it down now is that ESC, you know, the slow speed control just isn't the best, but it's not horrendous. Look, we can carry on moving along. That long wheelbase is also a bit of a hindrance, but to be fair, again, it's doing way better than I thought it would. Oh, there's our door hanging off again. I'm gonna have to glue that when I get home, I think, because that is not gonna last, is it? Go on, wiggle, wiggle. Oh, lovely. Look at that, even with a hanging off door. Oh, man. Right, let's fix that door. Okay, here's another little rock climb here. So just to show you how long the wheelbase is, you know, if we take kind of that angle, you can see then we are getting hung up because of how long it is. But if we just come across and go this way, even considering those rocks are wet and everything as well, that is doing a really good job. I am honestly surprised at how well this thing is rock crawling. I did not think it was going to be anywhere near this good. Okay, let's just test out its wheel speed. So this is with the included 2S battery. So let's go full throttling first. You can see it's got a decent amount of pace in first gear. Let's chuck it in second gear. Didn't want to go into second gear then. And we binned it. We'll do a gentler turn so we don't roll it. You can see it's got a decent amount of wheel speed in second gear. Now when I ran it at the beach, I was running it on the 3S battery, and yeah, definitely had more punch obviously on the 3S, but the included 2S is, you know, more than adequate. I do really like the suspension movement on this one. I think it does look really nice. It's a very cool looking truck, isn't it? I think they have like made it look very scale, the way it moves and everything. That long wheelbase giving us some grief. That's going to be its one major struggle, I would say, when you're trailing, is that long wheelbase getting us caught up on everything. But even there, that we're just... Okay, we made it off, yeah. That's going to be our main hindrance. Oh, we're starting to get some mud. Still not enough, but we're starting to get some. Slow speed control is not too bad on this thing, considering it is the WP1060. You know, I've had a lot worse with the slow speed control, and this one isn't doing too bad, even when it's dragging a stick. Let's see if it can get up over this downed log. I'm not sure it will do with that wheelbase. We'll try and do a little hop, and then we might need a bit of second gear. Oh, full on beached. Okay, I popped it in second gear. Let's see if we can hop it, if we've got enough punch in second gear on the 2S battery. Ah, there's a big old stick right in the way, right on the nose as well, which is kind of like giving us some grief today. Okay, let's try one more time by here, see if we got enough punch. Oh, come on. Ready, one more try. Nah, it's not having it. I reckon if you're running on the 3S battery, you probably would have made that, because we had a bit more punch. But yeah, I forgot to bring it with me, unfortunately. So we are 2S all the way on this one. You do get some body slapping, don't you, as it comes down. And you can see it does get hung up quite a lot because of that wheelbase. It does look cool though. I think that's probably my favourite thing going for it, to be honest, is how cool it looks, and that body movement. You know, it looks very scale to me, and that's one of the things I really like about it. Definitely got room for improvement as well. Now, I would be very conscious of that power switch if you're going to run it through water, because I don't reckon that power switch will last very long getting really wet. But, you know, if you are going to stick a Fusion SE in it, or even just a Hobbywing 1080, you know, that'll solve that problem. Oh yes, look at that body wobble as it comes through there. Look. That's not bad slow speed control either. It's not amazing, but it's not bad. It gets a little carried away with itself sometimes when you know, pass over an obstacle. So far I've been quite impressed with the tyres, to be honest. Our rip-off Falcon tyres. They've actually done an alright job. They've been decent on the rocks, they've been decent on the trail. Everything always gets stuck on that bit there. That's fine, let's give it a little hop. Oh, obviously only got 2S battery now. We don't have a massive amount of wheel speed, but there we go, we made it. We might get stuck now with that long wheelbase maybe, but... Right, let's give it a little hop. Yay, there we go, look, nice and easy. We've got another bank climb to take on here. This one's a bit more rooty. Tries to grab onto you and get you stuck, so it'll be interesting to see how it does up here. Oh, yes, we made it. Oh, bit of hopping. Oh no, we're caught on that one. Hang on. We're gonna have to go. Oh, saved it. Let's try that again. Obviously, there's lots of leaves this time of year. It's very slippy as well. Let's give it a bit more throttle. Yeah, there we go. Nice. Okay, let's just test out the winch. So we've got quite a steep climb here, which, you know, we're not gonna be able to get up. That's like near vertical for this thing. But we got a little route just over here. Hopefully we can attach our winch cable to. So let's just try that. Okay, we got our winch line on. Let's start feeding it in. And then if we start driving up, hopefully we can get up there. It's a bit hard to do this one-handed at the same time, but there we go, look. We're getting up there. It's pulling us up. Yes, go on. Almost there. Yes. That's so cool that it comes with a working winch out of the box. I completely forgot my little kind of like anchors, so I can't just like hook it in the ground somewhere, so I had to find an appropriate route. That was cool. Okay, let's just demonstrate the unlock diffs as well. So at the moment we are now in unlock diffs. So I've basically activated both the channels on the top. So we can see as we're trying to climb, look, you can see that front wheel isn't turning at all. We are getting some spinning on the rear. So then if we just lock the front diffs by pressing channel 3, you can see now we actually have movement on the front, bit of movement on the rear. Just to show you the other side, look, both front wheels are turning, but you can see this rear right one isn't really turning from where it's unlocked. So now if we lock the rears by pressing channel 4, now you can see we've got both wheels turning on this side and both wheels turning on this side. So, you know, we're going to be able to climb a lot better. Obviously we're stuck on a little ridge there to demonstrate, but now we can actually continue to climb, whereas with it unlocked, you know, you would just be stuck. And while we're up here, let's just turn it around with the tank turn. How cool is that, look? And then if we turn tank turn back off again, or dig, I keep calling it tank turn, sorry, I was used to the previous one. Sometimes, like, there you go, look, I've got it disengaged at the moment. See, I've turned it off, but it hasn't yet disengaged. It's still dragging the rear. There we go, now it's freed it up. So yeah, with the servos, they're not always engaging and disengaging sometimes. Well, I think this is one of the best RGTs we've had in a while. I mean, I love the way it looks, the way it moved and that kind of body wobble and tucking tires and everything. That was ticking boxes for me. I think that looked absolutely fantastic. And to be fair to it, straight out of the box, it performed really well. You know, there was that one steep climb we couldn't do on the rocks, but to be fair, considering how much weight is in the rear, I didn't think it would do it anyway. But when we were climbing other areas and everything, it actually seemed really well balanced. You know, I think with those big thick links and everything we've got and that kind of like lower center of gravity, you know, you can definitely see it is pretty well balanced and it can perform way better than you would expect something like this to perform. I think our Ulcan tyres were actually pretty good as well, especially for a Ray to run. You know, they were fine on the rocks, they were decent on the trail, and I like the tread pattern. I think the tread pattern looks quite to scale as well. I think the stock electronics were actually decent as well. I mean, even the 1060 ESC, I was surprised at how well this thing drove on the slow crawl, whereas normally with the 1060, you know, the slow speed control is pretty rubbish, to be honest. As much as I really like the suspension movement, I think it is a little bit weird that we have leaf springs, 4-link, and shocks and strings on the rear. It's kind of like, are we a leaf spring rig? Are we a linked rig? I don't know. I mean, I'm not complaining about the actual performance of the suspension. It was fantastic, but it just seems a bit weird that we've got all of those options on the rear. It's like, no, this rig is a leaf sprung rig, but we know it's not going to perform. So we'll give you 4 links and we'll give you shocks and springs at the same time. But yeah, out of the box performance, I think was really, really good, especially for the type of rig it is, being more scale looking. However, it's not all peachy. You know, there are some things I don't like about it and some issues we had with it. Main one being our compartments on the rear and the fact that it was broken straight out of the box. You know, I reckon that could have been easily avoided if they just put some tape or something on it, because it probably got damaged in transit. If it didn't, then obviously that's really poor quality control on their side. The other thing being that the missing paint and the scratches on the body at the box kind of gives you an idea of what the quality of the paint on it is, and it's probably not going to last very long. I also think it would have been much cooler if we had some more retro looking headlights instead of the kind of bluish white ones, which are a lot more modern. Oh, I almost forgot as well, the body mount design. It's a nice idea, and the fact that it's all hidden, you can't see any exposed body clips or anything like that. But in practice, it can be a little bit frustrating. It never seems to want to line up front and rear. The body doesn't want to line up with the rails, and those latches on the rear, they just keep turning all the time. So when you're trying to line it up, they're not in the right place. And if you can imagine, when you're out on the trail, it's mucky, it's wet, gets a little bit tedious, to be honest. I know I'm nitpicking, but that was one of the things I found frustrating with it. But I would definitely say the pros outweigh the cons. You know, it does look really nice and it did perform really well straight out of the box. Now, in terms of price and value for money, I mean, you can pick these up on AliExpress for about $500 to $550, which I'm on the fence. You know, you are getting a lot for your money. You know, you got the 10-channel transmitter, you know, you got the winch, you got the dig, you got the locking differentials, you got the 2-speed gearbox, you know, you got the nice body. But, you know, $500, $550 is like Traxxas TRX4 money, isn't it? And we would all say a Traxxas TRX4 is overpriced. And realistically, this is over $100 more than an FCX10 K5 Blazer, which has all the same functionality bar the winch on the front, and it doesn't have the hard plastic on the rear, but that one actually has a licensed body. And you would think with this one being unlicensed that they would have passed on some of that savings to us, because normally when you've got a licensed body, you're going to pay a bit more for it because they're going to pass on the cost of the license. But on an unlicensed rig, you generally expect it to be a little bit cheaper. Now, I didn't pay that much money for mine. I got mine in the Black Friday sales and I paid just under £300, which is like just under $400. Now, for that price, much happier with it. I think it's worth that all day long. And at that price point, I think it's really good value for money. So yeah, I'm not quite sure it's worth the price tag. And I've noticed with a lot of the RGTs recently, they are pushing that price up there. And I'm just not convinced you're getting the quality that's worth the price tag. Anyway, enough waffling for me. I'm happy I bought this one. This one is definitely a keeper for me. Most of my other RGTs I've sold or got rid of, but this one I actually want to keep. You know, I'm going to sort those panels out on the rear. I reckon I'm going to chuck a brushless system in it, try and do something with that driver, get some accessories on there, and I think this thing would actually be a really cool rig. But let me know what you think of it in the comments. You know, what do you think of the quality? What do you think of its performance and its price? Drop me a comment with any questions. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.